Hey, this is Caroline. I'm coming to you today from Boston. Today is October 6th. We flew up from Atlanta this morning and we're about to go on the Freedom Trail tour. There's a costume tour guide and it's supposed to be a lot of fun, so I'm really looking forward to touring the Freedom Trail today in Boston.
What it is really is a guideline that will take you to a little bit of history. 16 sites here in Boston and Charlestown. But we don't actually need to be standing on it to be free this afternoon, so we're going to follow it more in spirit. Let's take a walk. Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of this guy right here, right? On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive who remembers the end of the poem. But that's fine. The poem is very long, and it's also written about 20 years after Paul Revere has died. So Longfellow can't exactly fact-check himself. The whole thing turns into like the HBO special. The important things to know is that when this ride happens, these redcoats who are on Boston Common are riding out to Lexington and Concord, about 25 miles away from where we are right now, to capture arms, ammunition, cannons, cannonballs, guns that the Sons of Liberty have been hiding out there, because there's 4,000 redcoat soldiers here. In the poem, Paul Revere goes up against 2 battalions, that's 700 redcoats, marching on Lexington and Concord all by himself, right? Yeah, we don't send one man against 2 battalions, we send 2, Paul Revere and William Dawes, who ride off in 2 different directions. But throughout the night, they pick up more and more people along the way, thereby making it about 60 riders who are out there carrying the message that the British soldiers are on their way all the way up to New Hampshire and down to South Carolina. How about what they say? Because they go out there in the middle of the night and they're screaming, "The British are coming!" right? Yeah, they're not screaming. That's an awesome way to get caught by anyone who might be patrolling in the area. So what these riders do is they quietly ride up to the door of someone they know is loyal to the Sons of Liberty. They knock on it, and what do they say? They do not say the British are coming for a very important reason. All of this happens in 1775. The Declaration of Independence, which created the United States, was written in 1776. If Paul Revere shows up at 2 o'clock in the morning and he's like, "Hey, the British are coming," we'd say, "What? Are you crazy? We've been here for like 100 years. Go home, Paul. Do not wake people up." So in reality, what they say is something closer to the regulars are out, meaning the British regular army, or as they're more commonly known, what color coat? Or if you want to be very insulting, the lobsters or the bloody backs. Because apparently it is super rude to call someone a crustacean, no matter how delicious it may be. Now they do this all the way to Lexington, where Paul Revere's main objective is to warn Samuel Adams and John Hancock that the British are coming, so to speak, and they're coming for them. He warns them, they get away, and only a few hours later, the first shots of the American Revolution, the shot heard round the world, is fired on Lexington Green. But Paul Revere doesn't hear any of this, because he gets himself captured between Lexington and Concord, and he has to walk all the way back to Lexington because his horse has now become the first prisoner of war of the American Revolution. The end.
Hey, this is Caroline. I'm about to walk over the site of the Boston Massacre. This is the tour guide. Hi!
Here it is, the Boston Massacre. Nothing, keep going.
Hey, we just finished the historic Freedom Trail tour. We went by the actual site of the Boston Massacre. I learned 5 people died in the Boston Massacre, and Sam Adams, the picture on the Sam Adams beer is not Sam Adams, it's Paul Revere with some Botox and some nice propaganda. So anyway, learned a lot on the Freedom Trail tour. We're going to continue walking down the Freedom Trail. We didn't cover the entire thing in the 90-minute tour, and so right now we're in front of Quincy Market. I'm in front of Faneuil Hall, and we're going to keep on going down the trail.
This is the north end section of town, and we are visiting the Old North Church behind me. And as you can see, this is the Paul Revere statue, not too far away from the Paul Revere house. So we're taking in a lot of the American Revolutionary sites and significant landmarks here in the city. So I took a little trip, walked to the top of this monument you see behind me. It's 294 steps, which is about a 20-story building. There's no elevator, and once you get up there, it's quite cramped, but you got some good panoramic views, as you might imagine, of downtown Boston and the skyline.
And this ends the Freedom Trail video here. I hope you enjoyed it. We are at the USS Constitution now. The last stop on the Freedom Trail technically is Bunker Hill. We went and saw that. And then there's kind of a fork in the road, and then we saw US Constitution last. So it's already closed, but this is the boat. We started at 1 o'clock this afternoon at the visitor center, and we took a tour for 90 minutes, and then we kind of meandered for a little bit, and then we went for the rest of the tour. So it's about 5 o'clock right now. So it took us about 4 hours to do all of Freedom Trail.